Let me just look at this. So this is on the second section, companies and markets. Rating downgrade shakes trade credit insurers. Okay, this is the kind of article that probably you never before would have thought, this is just totally fabulous. Okay, and you can understand why this is important now. This is why I'm showing you you've made progress in only 10 lectures or 12 lectures we've had here. So it begins. Insurance brokers have warned that a decision by Standard & Poor's to cut its rating for one of the world's biggest trade credit insurers, Atradius, that's their name, to near junk status threatens far-reaching consequences for a market that oils the wheels of the global economy. Okay, so here's what you have. There's this company, Atradius, and what they do is they insure trade credit. So when companies, remember bills of exchange we talked about? And I talked about acceptances, where a bank says if they don't pay, I'll pay. That's what this is. These are acceptances. This is Atradius saying if they don't pay, I will pay. And this greases the wheels of world trade, you understand, that it allows one company to buy goods from another company and receive payment, receive the goods, but without paying for them, saying I'll pay you in 90 days or something. And a bank or Atradius guarantees that payment. Okay? If they couldn't get Atradius to guarantee it, the sale wouldn't go through in the first place, right? The goods wouldn't go. And if the goods didn't go, the sale wouldn't happen. The wheels of trade would come to a halt in wholesale. That's what they're worried about. Atradius has a share of almost a third of the global credit insurance market, writing more than $1 billion worth of premiums a year. $1 billion worth of premiums. That's not the amount of trade they're guaranteeing. Okay, that's the premiums on that amount of trade. Okay, so that if it's a tiny percentage of the amount, imagine this being multiplied by 100 or 1,000 or something like that. Is the amount of trade that would come to a halt if Atradius was not able to. A third of it. What's the problem? The problem is that the owner of Atradius is this company called Grupo Catalana Occidente, its main shareholder. Okay, so there are shares here, and it's owned by this Grupo Catalana Occidente. So let's just say GCO, okay? And that's their owner. And the problem is that GCO has a lot of Spanish sovereign debt on its balance sheet. Okay? So they're writing insurance. Okay? We in this course, we treat insurance as a liability, potential liability of Atradius. Okay? So there's insurance here. Here. And if Atradius has to pay out on that insurance, okay, and it has some securities, it has some assets here, some securities of some kind, probably short-term money market, something or other. The article doesn't talk about that. The point is that when it has to pay out on its insurance contracts, it has some assets here that it can liquidate in order to pay out. Okay, but ultimately, it's the deep pockets behind Atradius is GCO. Okay, because they're the owner. So if Atradius has too many claims, okay, and it goes bankrupt or something, it's a claim on GCO. So the question is GCO creditworthy? They've got all this stuff here, okay, and they have an equity tranche here, and the question is this stuff may not be worth very much. And if this is not worth very much, then these insurance contracts aren't worth very much. And so they're downgrading Atradius to BBB, just 2 notches above junk, and the lowest rating it's given to any of the big 3 trade credit insurers in the world. Okay, Atradius said that it and its main shareholder, GCO, were both financially strong and well-capitalized companies with regulatory solvency capital substantially in excess of the current regulatory requirements. Okay, regulatory solvency capital, for which, no doubt, the regulators allow you to count this sovereign debt not at its market value, okay, but at its nominal value, okay, the regulatory capital. But regulatory capital is, the market looks at that and they say, regulatory schmegulatory, what do I care, okay? This is not actually an asset, and so I'm not doing business with you, okay? So this is the problem. If you went through the financial crisis of 2007, you will remember that one of the most important ways in which the crisis of banks got transmitted to the real economy was through a freeze-up in trade credit. And this was worldwide, okay, that banks just stopped insuring trade credit. And so foreign trade just plummeted. A lot of exports and imports on both sides just plummeted in 2000, after 2008. And having that in mind, when you read this, it's not any longer a little technical weirdness, okay? This is a big warning sign for transmission of the euro troubles, okay, into troubles with actual trade worldwide. 1/3 of outstanding trade credit is written by this company here.